to another Alpha Strike We Play video, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the many games now that have been released by Gammon Games. This one here is Tiny Epic Galaxies.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. You're in charge of your own little empire, and you have your own little starting galaxy, so to speak. And then basically you accumulate resources to then spread out and explore these other planets, expand, bring them into the fold. As you grab these planets, they give you more resources and opportunities, and basically you're just trying to progress. And it is a dice and card-based game system, which we'll talk a bit about. So 1 to 5 players, takes about 30 minutes. I mean, it depends on how many players you've got. If you know what you're doing, you probably could do it. There's only like a couple of people playing, something like that. But definitely allow more time if you're going to have more players. Ages 14 plus, but I don't know. I think somewhere in a younger age could figure that out.
To somebody younger than that, but the deeper tactics and stuff you put this out.
So one of the good thing about the Tiny Epic range is that the systems are generally easy to learn, but they do have that element of strategy to them, so that adds a level of complexity. Something for everybody, I think.
They're tiny and yet epic.
And epic, yes. They're very cool. Let's take a look at the rules and
how it basically runs.
A little sort of walk through things. So, what do you think would be?
Well, you've got the basics of a game turn. Like you say, the Tiny Epic ones are the actual rules are usually fairly easy to pick up. They're fairly simple. So your game turn consists of you grabbing a number of dice decided by something in game. You roll them. They've got 6 faces. Each one lets you do something different. All right. So you start your turn. You roll those dice. Then you activate them one at a time. Every other player in order around the table has the chance to follow the action that you're doing. So that dice can be followed. They have to pay a cost. It's one culture to follow the action that's on that die. And then when it gets back around to you, you do another one, and so on and so on and so on. You're allowed to re-roll dice at any time. You get 1 free one to start with, and then it's 1 energy to re-roll after that. You can re-roll as many as you want. And you're allowed to use what they call a converter, which is kind of cool, but only really useful in certain circumstances. You can turn 2 dice into the converter and change 1 other die to any face that you want. So you can specify an action by spending 2 dice, is basically how it works.
You want to have a look at the 6 actions?
You can move your ship. So you move your ship from a galaxy to a planet. These are your planet cards. You can put it on the planet and use the ability that's on the bottom of the card there, or you can put it on the orbit track. And that, if you can get your ship around to the end of the orbit track with one of the other actions, then you take that planet and you keep it for yourself. Okay.
It's good to have a collection of planets because that ability that you can claim when you land on it, once it becomes one of yours, you use one of the other faces on the dice here, activate colony they call it, and that allows you not just expand your base, which is what the standard thing is when you first start, but you've now got all these other planets. You have access to those.
And some of them are pretty funky abilities.
They are very good. Like if you get the right combination, wow, it can be really good. But like if a good planet goes down, you're going to find a lot of people are going to be looking at it themselves, landing on it, trying to take it. They become hotbeds of
action.
Good, it's pretty good.
All right. So that's move. You can advance a ship. So you've got 2 different types of orbit track. You've got a diplomatic orbit track and an economic orbit track. So you can advance a ship around there. So that if that face on the die comes up, you spend it and you move 1 ship, 1 space around. Simple enough. Once they get to the end, you take that planet. Okay. You can also acquire resources. You've got 2 types of resources. You've got culture, which is mainly used for following actions of other players. And you've got energy, which is mainly used for re-rolling dice. They're both able to be used to advance your galaxy level and everything, but we'll get to that in a second. They are important. They are both useful. And you get 1 of them for each ship that's on a planet with that symbol on it. And then the last one is the activate colony.
Yeah.
So you can use, the galaxy map has an ability on it which is to upgrade your empire. So you're spending resources to increase the worth or ability of your galaxy, to making it better, basically. That is a steadily increasing amount of resource that you have to do that. But the way you do it is activate colony, spend the amount of resource, and you're done.
Yeah.
But once you start getting planets, if you use that, you can then use the ability that's on the planet card of any planets you colonize. And that's where it starts getting funky, because you can make it do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
Some of them are like, there's some planets that if you take them, you can use the ability on someone else's planet.
Yep.
You pay them some resources or whatever, but yeah, it's very cool.
But like I said, it can become easily an hour and a half game if you're not careful. But that is the basics of how to play it.
Yeah.
And it's very, very simple.
It is very simple.
Right. Pay 1 energy to reroll those 3. We've got 5.
Okay.
Right? And then see if you can get more moves and cultures.
Yeah.
And go with that. But I'd hang on to that one so you can replenish your energy as well.
Okay.
Yes. So
if I use that energy, I would move that.
So if you
pay 1 energy, just like that before, then reroll those 3 and see if you can get moves and cultures.
we need to start. He's disenchanted.
Alright, so you got 1.
Good.
That's cool. Now, what was the ability was to shift the planet, right? Okay, so that's not that much good. You really need moves. So, you can keep doing that. You can keep spending energy as long as you've got energy, and you can just keep re-rolling these, keep cultures and
No,
moves.
hang on. If we go that way, I have 6.
Here we go.
Why have you forsaken me?
You used to feel that.
You would. Nothing would. I don't want any of that. Oh man, it's the last game. I'm gonna free roll a whole lot.
Free re-roll to
Okay.
re-roll more.
I might keep one move. Move or look at that.
There you go.
That. My free reroll.
Yay!
That is the exact same.
Nice.
No.
Yeah,
I have a slight plan. Okay, I have part of a plan. I have to
Collecting any of these are actions. To remember, harvest energy is an action.
I'm going to harvest energy.
Or you want to follow the move.
You don't have to. Oh, we're going to follow those, and then you also get to perform. Yeah, so you all get 1. Well, yeah, and then
So we follow.
We're allowed to follow the energy for free, so
Yes.
I'll do that. So I'll go to max energy.
and I'm also.
You get 3.
And I've also paid my 1 culture and I'm going to follow the move. No follow the move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So that's an even number of turns. So
I'm going to have a point.
Including this number, and you get your.
Oh man, 19.
Okay, so game 3, if you have the most culture at the end of the
This is
game.
one. So
2, I've got none. He's got.
I got 4.
He's got 4. So
yeah, 2.
you've got no, so you
I gain 2 if I've completed my empire track at the end of the game.
Oh, I
did well done.
knew
So
that.
8, 9, 10.
I gain 3 if I have the most energy at the end of the game. 6. That's why I was being an energy. That was why I was being an energy vampire. All that for 3 points.
Okay, that's good. Alright, so
I'm on 26.
on 8.
I think I'm on.
Oh, wow.
Ooh!
Fine words there. Well, I got 23.
Yeah, 26.
Holy
crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well done.
Wow. So if I had less culture at the end of the game, you would have won.
Yep. See, that's what I said. This card.
Even if I had
So these can make the difference.
So we finished our first game. Let's talk about how it went. I'll start.
I won.
Okay.
That's it.
So whoever wins is probably going to like the game the most. That's okay. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this game. As far as there's a lot of strategy involved when you're talking about the planets and things like that, because they all have their own different little abilities when you land on them. The mechanics are very simple, but because there's such variety with those planets, those planet cards, it's really, really good. It really makes you sort of stop and think about what you're doing.
I love it. It's a great game.
I think this was his first game, wasn't it, that he made?
It's the first one I backed on Kickstarter. I don't know if there was any before that.
I think definitely one of his early ones.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the
really
earlier
cool.
ones. It's really cool.
Okay.
And Susanna came in within a couple of points of me, so you had fun,
Well
right?
done.
It's a bit difficult to learn.
I found it a little bit difficult, but then I liked the support that I was getting. But I think it makes you think, and there's parts that I would get, so I think just a few more games and I'd be onto it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's like me. I've played a few games now, so I kind of get the basics. And it's every way you play is different. It's like one way you can stack up that culture, or you don't stack up that culture, and then you pay for it later on. You can't follow it.
Yeah. So it's one that you have to play 3 or 4 times, depending on how well you pick up rules. You can end up playing only a couple of times, but most people I think would take 3 or 4 times, and you can pick up how it all interacts and how it works and get a decent strategy together.
Yeah, it's very economical banking. It's like watching your money go up and down.
we like to go up.
We prefer up.
I did talk about getting more culture and things like that. I tried to go for cheaper planets so as I could have more options when it came to upgrading your base, if you ever played that. Or was it, activate colony.
Activate colony, yeah.
It did work for me. I got some pretty good combinations, but I think it was just a little bit too late. Yeah, but I don't know. It's I still think it was a good strategy, but whether I try and do it every game, I don't know.
You were already 1 big planet behind.
Is that right?
Yeah, you were like 18 points or something. So you're 1 decent planet, and you would have been in the lead.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would have really done differently is not help anybody.
It's hard.
When you're teaching someone how to play a game, it's a thing. You play your first game. Doesn't matter who wins. Doesn't matter who wins. You just learn.
Except you won.
Yeah.
Except I won, and so it counts. Boom. But it was only like 2 points. 2 points.
Very well.
So for a first game, usually people beat me the first game they play. I teach someone how to play and they beat me. Yeah, we did Supernova and everyone was beating me at everything. It's insane.
Well, saying that, I wish I had some better rolls. Those rolls really hurt, so
it's a bit hard to.
It's something I can plan, but those rolls, like it's so dice. It's what they do. They're unpredictable.
They hate me.
Well, I don't know if I really hate this about it, but it's one thing that can frustrate people. Is the activation turn, so how you activate your dice. If you do something wrong, if you mess up your order, it can screw up your whole strategy for that turn. Say you've got a move and you don't want to move yet, you've still got, quite often it's easy to do a move and you go, oh no, I wanted my ships in there, so I would have got more energy. Or vice versa, there's a lot of different ways. If you stuff that up on your turn, it can be a frustrating thing.
The order you activate your dice in is very important. That's why it can bog down the game just a smidge while everybody's thinking about which ones they have.
I think that would be my only gripe with what does slow this game down. It is a great game, and yeah, it is one of his first. So, and I love most of the ones I've played of it. So.
Well, you're lucky it doesn't have a death clock element to it then as well. That'd really finish it off for you.
20-second turns, you reckon? Oh, imagine that. Let's do that.
Let's do that next time.
Just for a first go, like. Just picking up was enough for me. I think that I'm happy with what I know.
With how it all went.
So nothing so bad that just learning a bit more, I think.
Yeah, well, that's good. Like if first impressions of it are pretty solid, then it's
a few
it's a good
games
sign.
under your belt.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's one of those ones you would revisit for a replay.
Definitely would. Yeah, I think I'd get a little bit more next time. So.
All right, so let's have a look at some strategies for sort of the first round and see what you can do. One of the most common ones is if someone does a activate colony, it's a good idea to actually spend that one culture and the energy you've got to do it. So as when your first dice rolls comes around, you're not rolling 4, you're rolling 5. Yeah. See, I didn't follow it, and I was stuck on 4 dice for about 3 turns or something. So
quite a few.
Yeah.
It gets complicated not because of the rules. The rules are very, very simple. Move a ship, land on a planet, do the thing.
Yeah.
Get the resource, activate a colony, whatever. I think where it gets really technical and really sometimes difficult for some people to grasp is the interaction of those things. So you've got, and especially with the follow mechanic. The follow mechanic is really, really cool. I like that, but it is what bogs a lot of it down. It's important because you don't want your game to be you sit here and have your turn, and then that dude sits there and has his turn, and then someone sits there and has their turn. This is an interactive way of doing it.
Yeah.
But it can make it take longer because there are some combinations of planets or abilities or just maneuvers generally that can really, it's difficult for people to get the logic behind how it happens and say, okay, so if I put my ship here and this happens, then that'll force you to do this, or it'll give me that, and I can use this to do that, to do this, to get that, which I can put here, and then this happens, and then that, and it can get really insane.
Yeah, that's true.
It can really get insane. So I don't think the actual rules are the difficulty. I think it's more the interaction of those rules in a given situation.
I think one of the biggest things I've noticed is that when a planet disappears off the, I don't know what they call that line, the planet line.
Just a planet track.
Yeah, so once a planet's taken, and sometimes depending on how many ships are actually progressing around orbit and to try and take planets, you can lose, if people are following, you can lose more than one planet off the line.
Yeah.
And that can bring new ones into play. And they have, because each planet has its own abilities, so suddenly it starts changing the dynamic of what you've got out in front of you.
Yeah, and if you watch a game, like you're probably watching a game right now, you'll see people looking intently at the next planet card that comes up because they want to know what the ability is and they want to know how it's going to interact with what they're going to do, and it's like I've watched when we play, and it's like everybody's going, and you just going, oh my god, yes, I can use that. Oh no, I can't. God damn it.
But definitely the cards. When the planets come out,
it's the interaction of all those elements that really can get it seriously involved. Like I say, it's simple. It's simple. It's so simple. You roll the dice, that's what you're allowed to do. How hard can that be? But then you go, oh, yeah, I've played a couple of rounds and it's insane.
There's a few little expansions for this game, but the main one was like a box that was in the same size as well, and it also had its own play mat, which you can buy separately. It's not included with it. This one is called Beyond the Black. Now, I really like this because
awesome.
It adds a lot to the game, mostly in the form of unique pilots, and there's 4 new types of ships.
Yeah, you can see them on the mat here.
Yeah.
Again, the mat isn't vital, but it's so cool. So you get 4 different types of ships that do various things, but they do it through the pilot. And yeah, again, it just adds another level of interaction to the whole game, and it's really, really cool.
You don't get additional ships when you're playing the game, so you'll swap out a standard ship for one of these advanced ones, things like that. But it's worth it. So the number of pilots that are available at each time is dependent on the number of players. It's basically the same as your planets. So you lay them all out.
Basically, yeah.
And they're the ones
exactly the same, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Adds a lot more to it. Gives you some more options, some more ways to actually earn some points towards the end. I mean, planets are always going to be the winners, but depending on what pilots you've got here, it could be a good investment in time.
It's just a little layer of frosting on top of the already massive layer cake that is it, Tiny Epic.
Yes, that's right. And we've just had something delivered through Kickstarter as well, I believe.
Yes.
For yourself.
Yes.
So,
hi, my name's Tara. I'm a Kickstarter addict. This is my first meeting. You can see here, I have a wee bit of a Tiny Epic addiction as well. They're really good games, man. Really good games. But it's not an expansion, but he's doing, this guy Scott, Game and Games, he's doing these Ultra Tiny Epic. So this is Tiny Epic Galaxies. And the involved game, the tactical, insanely difficult game with all the simple concepts that we just went through is in here. But if you get Ultra Tiny Epic, it's in here. And that is just awesome.
Yeah.
That you can fit 4 of them in the same. It's just insane. But it's all in there. You've got little markers and little tiny dice, and you've got little planet sheets and little galaxy maps.
Little galaxy ones.
You've got a little deck of set of rules and a little deck of cards. You've got planets and all sorts in there. Everything that's in the base game of that is in here, and it's great.
But if you just go for their standard box stuff, honestly, you won't be disappointed. They're very cool.
They're very, very good games. Very good games.
So that's it. We've talked about it. You've seen some of us play it and things like that. We think it's a winner. We really like it, but we do encourage you to have a look at it yourself. Thank you for watching, and please look at the other videos and subscribe if you'd like to. It'd be great. Thank you.
Bye guys.